Not yet.
There we go. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the February Budget Committee meeting. It's 5:30. We will get started here. The first item, as always, is public comment. Is there any public comment tonight from our audience member? Seeing none, we'll move on to roll call. Alderwoman Malone Marshall.
Present.
Alderman O'Brien here. Alderman Osinga. Alderman Navarez are both absent. Alderwoman Johnson.
Here.
Alderman Marzak. Present. Alderman Jones.
Present.
We do have a quorum. Thank you. We don't have presentations or old business. Under new business, we have two items. The first is consideration of the Budget Committee meeting minutes from last month, the January meeting. They are in our packet here for your consideration. Is there any questions or comments or changes from the motion, from the minutes?
We're going to make a motion, Chairman, that we'll adopt the minutes.
Motion to approve by Alderman Jones. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign? Okay. Minutes are approved. Next item is the review of the January city financial statements. Comptroller Rogers, would you take us through those, please?
I sure will. So, property taxes on the first page of the revenue and expenditures comparison. We are all done with those. We got our final payment in December. So as you can see, we're right at 100%. Anything that's lower is a difference due to what they may or may not have collected this year. I am up to date on all of the taxes off the Illinois website. We still have one place that I need to get access to. But for the most part, all of these are the actual numbers through January 31st. We are running a little bit lower than what our budget is. I believe the cannabis excise tax was budgeted significantly higher than what it's panned out to be so far. But that is the one that I don't have access to the source data, so I'm just going by what's been deposited in the bank. So I can't really tell the detail behind that. Licenses have been running lower, but a lot of that is because it all gets loaded at the end of the year. Most of those liquor licenses are in April, so we should see that figure go up significantly by the time we get to our final month. Franchise fees and the other fees are right at where we'd expect it to be for budget. It's actually a little bit higher than what we had budgeted. Page 2. We are working on grants right now. Hopefully we can get those in and closed before year end and get the monies in. Most of those are local grants, so hopefully the stoppage on the payment of the federal government grants won't hit us. And they are back processing those right now. We've run several things through on CDA and received payment. Service charges, we are significantly higher than where we had budgeted. So that seems to be going well. Fines, we're running slightly low this year, but that could just be the time of year. Winter months, there probably isn't as much going on. If we turn up to that final page on the interest, we may be slightly behind on this. There's still a few of our accounts that I need to get through and get balanced. So we're running a month or two behind. I've accrued, and when I accrued on the interest, I tried to be much more conservative than what the actual interest on those accounts probably will end up being. So general fund revenues are running just about 8% below where budget is. And given the timing of some of those items that won't hit until our final period, that really is a good place to be for this time of year. If we turn up to the next page, which is the first page of the expenditures, again, our expenditures are running below budget, significantly below budget in the area of executive, and that has to do with the timing of when monies were moved for different positions. Police and Fire Commission is significantly lower than what the budget was. If we turn up to the next page, pretty much all of our departments are running well under budget. Human Resources is only at about 60%. City Clerk's Office is sitting at 66%. And then the Comptroller's Office, we have to flip up to the next page to see the total. It's running at 60%. Same for Computer, it's 64%. We've done a really good job this year on salaries, pretty much throughout the city. We're running significantly under budget or just at budget in most of the areas. If we turn up to page 7, police is running slightly higher than budget, but not enough to be concerned about it. Part of that may be the increases in the timing of when they went through. So there really isn't anything of note here. Like I say, we seem to be in really good shape given the time of year and the fact that we're 9 months through the budget. Police and pension is slightly higher, but that's because those contributions have already gone through. And that's the bulk of what that department consists of. School crossing guards is under budget, violence prevention is under budget, fire admin is right at budget, fire training is below. Pretty much everything on page 9. There's a little bit in the fire prevention overtime bucket, but it's such a small dollar amount, it's really not of a concern. Just the timing of when that hit. The fire force has done a really good job of keeping the overtime down to a minimum. It's only at 42%. If we turn up to page 10, there really isn't anything that jumps out here. Again, we've got a little bit of overage in overtime, but not enough for it to be a major concern. We are slightly over on page 11 in our community promotions. That was sort of a new area for us, so we're probably going to need to take a look at how we budgeted this year and make some changes in those amounts. And then page 12, again, we're only slightly over budget in economic development and recovery. Neighborhood stabilization really didn't get off the ground this year, so we're probably going to end the year with not much at all in that budget for that department. The general city costs is also running below. So that brings us to the final total on page 13. We had seen that the revenues were slightly under budget, and the expenditures are even slightly more under budget. which is what we'd want to see. If one is running lower, we've hopefully tightened our belt on the other, and it's running lower as well. And then the last page is the cash balance changes. There's been significant change in general fund again, and again, this has to do with the pension payments. We have 3 sets of payments that are going to be going out. The January one hit, and another $19,697,000 came out and went to the 2 different pensions. The other accounts, there really isn't anything of much note. Illinois funds has gone up significantly, and that's in the receipts, and I need to dig at that to see what exactly is made up in there. But considering that 19,000 of the change, or 19 million of the change was the pension amounts, there really isn't a significant difference. We're still in really good shape as far as what we've got set aside in cash accounts. And did anybody have any questions?
Councilor Rogers, going back to the revenue section there, you mentioned the grant funding, and you said we've been working on mainly local grants. Those are the ones we've been receiving, is that right? Is that?
Rhonda has been working on getting the grants filed, and
Okay.
most of those are JAG grants and
What grants?
JAG grants,
JAG?
yeah.
Police, okay, got it.
So that's the biggest part of that.
Okay.
And the other government funds, the ones that she's working on that I know of are local.
Got it, okay.
Chairman, real quick,
Alderman Jones.
yes, Comptroller, are we going to be affected by the federal grants that they're talking about putting a hold on? Is that going to affect us in any way?
They did put a hold on them.
Oh, they
And
did?
within 24 hours, they had pulled it back.
Okay.
We've already been submitting against those grants and receiving payments. So all we can do is wait and see. It was kind of a shock everybody, take it away, and then they put it all back. So I'm hoping
Right.
that he got what he wanted, which was to shake everybody up, and
Okay.
now it's back to normal business.
Thank you, Comptroller.
Anyone else have questions for Comptroller Rogers? No? Okay, thank you very much for that update. Appreciate it. Moving on to the next, there's no more new business. Next item is updates from the city manager and comptroller. Anything, there's audit in particular?
Comptroller, you want me to go? Share my call, okay. Thank you. Thanks, Chairman. Today, I talked to Carlos at the firm, and by Friday of this week, everything will be posted online with the audit. We'll be coming to you here very shortly to talk about those matters. He did say that they will have all hands on deck. They are waiting on one more document that I've been working on with our MD&A. I'm still doing that because it's through April 30th, of which I was still the comptroller, so that just makes good sense that I take care of that. It's a little bit difficult to write this year. It was a good year. That's not the problem. It's just a very different year because we are comparing MD&A, and that's management's discussion analysis. When you're looking at things, you're comparing it a lot to the year before. Well, remember in fiscal '23, we did our first tranche of pension obligation bonds. So everything just looks bizarre, right? Because, I mean, that was $33 million, and now that's not in the financials because we did that this fiscal year, not that fiscal year. So it's just a little bit difficult to write about, but not because there's a problem or an ill. It was a very strong year financially again, and we're excited to present it to you, and it should be online, like I said, by Friday. So we're very excited about that. Get that put to bed, and we will move on. As far as ARPA goes, since we met the last time, we did do the last quarter, which would have been the fourth quarter. That was the most substantial report that I have filed since we've been doing ARPA, because it had all of your last intentions inside of it. So all those last allocations we did in early November, those were all included in the report, because as you remember, every single penny had to be accounted for as an allocation, or the federal government was taking it back. So we double checked it. It said, had two big goose eggs of zeros there. 15 million was allocated to us at the beginning, and some odd change, of course, and exactly that same amount was then allocated to the projects as you all desired them. So we built every single project, and everything is as was done here. So I'm really proud of that. That was the most cumbersome report we've done, but from now on, it's just logging expenditures, so it shouldn't be half as much as that one was, or the building of projects is what's so time-consuming. So I'm really hopeful that, we'll just kind of keep going and spend down that money as we've planned. We have, of course, until December of 31st of 2026 to do that. We are well on our way to get those accomplished. As you know, several are done. They've been done for some time. I did not close any projects out on the federal side, though. Projects meaning our allocations, the ones we did by resolution. I did not close any out yet, because I kind of wanted that one quarter to just be good and it say, we're good, and then by the next quarter, I plan on starting to lock down programs. If we've spent, if it's done, we sent the money to the park district, or we sent the money to wherever, and it's over, we're going to close it out. That's one less project I have to report on. So kind of moving into what I feel like is a new chapter of ARPA now, now that we're completed with our plans of how we're going to spend those dollars. We are working, I know Mayor's been working on, and maybe you wish to speak to this, but been working on, some kind of final reports of those allocations. We definitely know some percentages in our head of how we've done them. I think that it's nothing shy of something for all 15, including the mayor, of you to be proud of. I would, kind of a competitive person, but I would go up against any municipality to see how they spent their dollars, and if they shared their dollars the way that they were supposed to, the way that we shared our dollars, yet still taking care of some of the key infrastructure and initiatives here at the city of Kankakee. So I'm really proud of it, and it's all documented now and good to go. So kind of trying to cross things off a list and leave them in the past now. Thanks, Chairman.
Thank you. Alderman Jones.
I just want to commend Alderwoman Malone Marshall. Someone was asking about the ARPA funds, and you came across and the way you explained it, and you gave the information on how they can call the alderman, but your explanation was spot on, and I just wanted the public to say thank you for that. And it was very, very informative for the person, because some people, what did y'all do with it? You was right on it, and I just wanted to tell you thank you for your leadership on that.
Thank you. Normally, at the February Budget Committee meeting, the last few years, we've had a presentation from Bob Reitz of Lauterbach and Amen regarding the status of the police and fire pension funds. Mr. Reitz was not able to be here this meeting, so I believe he's going to come to a future Budget Committee meeting or council meeting. Is that right?
Correct, Chairman. He is going to be at will it be the March 3rd? Is that the date of the council meeting?
Okay, it'll be a council.
The first meeting in March.
Okay, great.
I'll check that date right now, just so I say, but he will be able to present to the full council that evening, now that we are done with both tranches of the monies, and to talk about what that picture looks like now. It just seemed to make really good sense that we would be able to present to everybody, so that everybody can hear the good news and hear the really great efforts. Is it the 3rd? Yes, March 3rd. Hear the great efforts that have been done, and just really tell that story.
Okay, great. Mayor, do you have a comment?
Just, City Manager, if you just, Comptroller talked about the pension money, so we've distributed 2 funding rounds now, and near the end of this month, the final payment will go out to the police and fire pensions. So you'll see at next budget meeting, you'll see another large, different number this time, but it's close to that 20 million.
It's within like a penny or two, yeah. So it's February 26th is the final distribution to the pension funds. They are aware of this, and we are in constant communication. When we send those payments, I'm not only talking to both downstate pension funds, both fire and police, because they're ran by different groups downstate, but then I'm also in communication with the police and the fire pension fund locally to make sure that they know that those dollars have been allocated, and they're fully on board, as are their attorneys.
Yeah, great.
And just to pass along, I did run into one of the pension board members over the weekend, and they said it's They're very thankful to the council. They said it's nice to look at their account and know that there's $60 million in there and more coming, so.
Great. Any other questions or comments from any city council members? Mayor, Comptroller, City Manager, anything else from you? No? Okay, it's an unusually short.
I have one other thing, since we have a little time. I know, I'm sorry, Alderman, I have to. I just wanted to thank Paula publicly in front of you all for the work that she is doing right now. She not only came into this, of course, but had to do some amazing balancing, for sure, because we were doing different initiatives, and I kind of got pulled into some other things toward the end of my time as comptroller. But she's also restructuring, basically, because we have different positioning now that we've had some retirements, and is doing a really, really great job. And I just want to give her that public accommodation, per se, because it's a lot. It's a lot. You'll see lights on in that building upstairs a lot, and they're not my lights now. I'm not up there, so they're her. And I think that it's really important to remember that the accuracy and the integrity of our data is because of the work that she's doing right now. So I just wanted to give her that kudos.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Any other questions or comments? If not, it's 5:51, is there a motion to adjourn? Alderman Marzak, is there a second? Second by Alderwoman Johnson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you, everyone. Brief meeting.